The concept of a secret holy war between Jesus and the devil is a fascinating and complex topic that has been debated by theologians and scholars for centuries. This idea is rooted in the biblical accounts of Jesus' life and ministry, as well as the apocryphal texts that have been passed down through the ages. According to Christian tradition, Jesus and the devil have been engaged in a spiritual battle for the souls of humanity, with Jesus representing the forces of good and the devil embodying the forces of evil. The biblical account of Jesus' temptation in the wilderness is often seen as a key moment in this holy war. In this story, the devil appears to Jesus in the form of a serpent, tempting him with promises of power and glory if he will only bow down and worship him. Jesus, however, resists the devil's temptations and emerges victorious, demonstrating his superiority over the forces of evil. This event is often seen as a turning point in the Holy War, as it marks the beginning of Jesus' public ministry and his open confrontation with the devil and his minions. Throughout the New Testament, Jesus is depicted as engaged in a constant struggle against the forces of evil, which are often personified as demons or unclean spirits. In the Gospel of Mark, for example, Jesus is shown to be casting out demons and healing those who are possessed by them, demonstrating his power and authority over the spiritual realm. The devil and his minions are depicted as being in a state of panic and disarray, as they realize that Jesus is a threat to their power and influence. The apocryphal texts, such as the Book of Enoch and the Book of Jubilees, provide further insight into the nature of this holy war. According to these texts, the devil and his followers are engaged in a desperate attempt to thwart God's plan of salvation, which is centered on the person of Jesus Christ. The devil is depicted as a cunning and ruthless adversary. He will stop at nothing to prevent Jesus from fulfilling his mission. However, despite his best efforts, the devil is ultimately unable to prevent Jesus from accomplishing his goals and is instead defeated by him through the power of the cross. One of the key themes that emerges from this concept of a secret holy war is the idea of spiritual warfare. This refers to the ongoing struggle between the forces of good and the forces of evil, which is waged on a spiritual level. According to this view, the world is a battlefield, and humans are caught in the middle of a conflict that is being fought between the angels and demons. Jesus is depicted as the commander-in-chief of the forces of good, who is leading the charge against the forces of evil. The implications of this concept are profound, as they suggest that the spiritual realm is a realm of conflict and struggle. This means that Christians must be prepared to engage in spiritual warfare, using the weapons of prayer, faith, and scripture to defend themselves against the attacks of the devil. It also means that the church must be seen as a militant organization, which is engaged in a constant struggle against the forces of evil. In conclusion, the concept of a secret holy war between Jesus and the devil is a complex and multifaceted topic that has been debated by scholars and theologians for centuries. This idea is rooted in the biblical accounts of Jesus' life and ministry, as well as the apocryphal texts that have been passed down through the ages. The concept of spiritual warfare is a key theme that emerges from this idea, and it has profound implications for the way that Christians understand the world and their place in it. Ultimately, the secret holy war between Jesus and the devil is a reminder that the spiritual realm is a realm of conflict and struggle, and that Christians must be prepared to engage in spiritual warfare in order to fulfill their mission and purpose.